My name is Paige, a 34-year-old stay-at-home wife. I've been married to Paul for 2 years now. Just recently, I found out I'm pregnant with our long-awaited first child. Although it's still more than 6 months before the baby is due, Paul and I are excitedly anticipating the arrival of our little one. However, the person who seemed the most overjoyed about the news of my pregnancy was my sister-in-law, Lisa. She came to visit me the day after we broke the news. Paige, I heard the news. You're pregnant, aren't you? Congratulations! Thank you, Lisa. Did you really come all this way just to tell me that? Of course, I couldn't help myself. Well, I'm sorry for making you come all the way out here. Oh, don't worry about it. I couldn't just call you to say congratulations. I wanted you to have a healthy baby. So I went out and bought a bunch of food for you and the baby. Look, jelly, yogurt, cake, chocolate, it's all your favorites. Well, thank you, but the doctor told me not to overeat. Really? I thought you needed to eat for two as soon as you got pregnant. Yeah, it's a common image people have of pregnancy. Lisa bought me an unbelievable amount of food. Since I got married, she's treated me like her own sister. She's a truly reliable and loving presence in my life. Paige, if you ever have any trouble during your pregnancy, call me right away. I may not look like it, but I am quick on my feet. I'll be ready to help 24/7. Well, thank you so much, Lisa. Make sure to have a healthy baby for my sake, okay? And once the baby's here, let me help out with childcare. Of course, I'll be counting on you. Tears filled Lisa's eyes as she shared in the joy of my pregnancy. You see, Lisa loves children, but she found out that she couldn't conceive after undergoing fertility treatments. To make things worse, her husband cruelly berated her and demanded a divorce, leaving her to endure what I imagined were dramatic and heartbreaking days. Yet even after her divorce, she never showed any weakness and remained cheerful. That's probably why she was so happy for me, almost as if it was her own pregnancy. Thanks to her, I was able to spend the day feeling calm and reassured. However, just a few days later, I found myself struggling with severe morning sickness.
I'm home!
Oh, Paul, welcome back. I didn't realize it was so late already.
Yeah, I'm starving. Don't tell me you haven't cooked anything again today.
I'm sorry, my morning sickness has been worse than I expected. I couldn't even drink water, so I had to go get an IV at the hospital.
Oh, so you got an IV, but you couldn't make me dinner.
I tried, but even the smell of food makes me nauseous. I'm really sorry. I'll get back to normal once I'm past the first trimester.
Wow, how lazy of you. Fine, I'll make do with instant food today. Oh wait, not today. Every day.
I'm sorry.
I wonder if I'll ever get a proper meal from you.
Paul didn't seem to understand how difficult my condition was. He never helped me during my struggles with morning sickness and instead threw sarcastic remarks my way. When I asked him to run errands, he brushed me off coldly. If I didn't prepare meals, he'd get grumpy, and he always left greasy dishes piled up in the sink. The house became a mess with no room to even walk. Desperate, I started wearing nose plugs and a mask indoors to block food smells. I couldn't manage otherwise, as even a whiff of food made me sick. But Paul said,
Paige, why are you walking around the house looking so ridiculous? Nose plugs? Seriously? You're overreacting. So funny.
I can't help it. I can't stand the smell of food. It makes me nauseous.
You're hilarious. I'll have to tell the guys at work tomorrow. They'll get a kick out of this.
Stop mocking me. Paul showed no consideration for me during my pregnancy. I wanted to scream, "Whose child do you think I'm carrying? It's yours!" But I didn't have the energy to fight with him. I just endured in silence. Even after I entered the stable second trimester, Paul's attitude didn't improve. One evening, Paul casually remarked,
Hey Paige, aren't you eating a bit too much lately? You look like you've just gained weight from a failed diet rebound. You don't even look pregnant.
That's mean. My belly's starting to grow and my weight hasn't increased that much.
Oh yeah? Well, I'm not really into big women, so don't overeat, okay? Especially sweets. No pudding.
Okay.
Looking at you like this makes me lose my appetite.
Despite his unkind remarks, I couldn't argue back. I was too drained to fight. The only thing keeping me going was the thought of holding my baby in my arms soon. When Lisa visited me, she brought her characteristic cheerfulness, which brightened my days. She always arrived with delicious cakes and snacks. I worried Paul might criticize me later for indulging, but Lisa's warmth and kindness were so comforting that I allowed myself a little reprieve. One day while Lisa was visiting, Paul came home earlier than usual. He suddenly switched into the role of the doting husband.
Paige, how you feeling? Morning sickness is better, right? Let's have cake together. I'll make tea.
Wow, these look delicious, Lisa exclaimed. Paul chimed in.
Come on, it's fine to indulge once in a while, right? You're pregnant after all.
It was shocking to see Paul acting this way, kind and attentive in front of Lisa. He had never prepared tea or encouraged me to relax before, but the moment she left, his behavior reverted back to its usual indifference. Months later, I gave birth to a healthy baby girl and named her Lila. I was overwhelmed with love and gratitude when I held her for the first time. But Paul's cold attitude remained unchanged even after Lila's birth. Lila's so cute. Oh, thank you for coming into our lives, little one. Grow up big and strong. But then Paul casually added,
She doesn't look like me at all, does she?
Doesn't she?
Nope, she's completely you. If she looked more like me, I'd feel more attached. Right now, it just feels like I'm taking care of you.
Babies' looks change as they grow, I murmured, trying to suppress my disappointment. As time went on, Lila's cries kept us up at night. I tried to handle it all myself, but it was exhausting. One night, after a particularly rough day, Paul came home visibly annoyed. Lila's been fussy all day, and I've barely eaten anything since this morning, so I'd really appreciate it if you could help me out a bit more, Paul. When I said that, Paul snapped back.
Always making excuses, aren't you? I let it slide when you were pregnant, but the baby's already here, so stop being lazy. Housework is a housewife's job. I earn the money so you can stay at home, but you can't even make dinner? You lack gratitude.
His unreasonable remarks left me emotionally and physically drained. Thinking about how this would be my daily life from now on, I couldn't take it anymore. Normally, I'd stay quiet, apologize, and do whatever it took to calm him down, but today was different. I can't do this. I've reached my limit. It hasn't even been a month since I gave birth. You promised to help with housework and childcare, which is why I chose to have the baby here instead of at my parents' place. But handling everything on my own, it's impossible. I'm done. I thought that by clearly expressing my feelings, Paul would finally understand. But instead of listening, he got even angrier.
How many times do I have to say it? You're a housewife. Who do you think you are? You're the one who wanted to have a baby, right? So stop making excuses. If you want to be a mother, then raising a kid should come naturally. Everyone else manages it just fine. Are other housewives as lazy as you when it comes to housework and childcare?
I couldn't take it anymore. I'd endured so much, but I knew then that I couldn't keep living with Paul. Stunned, I froze in place. The next day, after Paul left for work, I took Lila and went to my in-laws' house. When Lisa saw me, disheveled and in tears, she looked utterly shocked. Paige, what's going on? Lisa, please help me. I can't take it anymore. I can't live with Paul any longer. What? What happened? Come inside. Dad and Mom are here too, so let's talk. I turned to Lisa, my last hope, and the moment I saw her face, I couldn't stop crying. I poured out everything, the insults, the neglect, and the way I'd been treated at home from my pregnancy to postpartum. My in-laws listened as I sobbed, and by the end, their faces were red with anger. How dare Paul make Paige so miserable, unforgivable! I can't let this slide. He's going to get a piece of my mind. I spent the rest of the day at their house, resting. Following Lisa's instructions, I returned home with my in-laws in the evening. Just as Paul was expected back, that was her plan. When we arrived, Paul was already at home. I braced myself, knowing he'd be irritated about dinner not being ready, and stepped inside. Of course, he had no idea I wasn't alone.
Where the hell have you been? Do you know what time it is? Who do you think you are, coming home later than me when you're a housewife? Are you kidding me? Get your act together and make dinner. I'm the breadwinner here, which makes me the boss. A housewife should stay home and do housework.
Just as he was yelling, my in-laws stormed in, furious. Hey, what is with that tone? You think you can talk to Paige like that?
What? Lisa? Dad? Mom? What's going on?
Since when did you become such a big man? You have no idea how hard childbirth and childcare are, do you? Stop belittling women.
You've really disappointed us. We never thought you could be this horrible. Mom, you say something too.
Childbirth is life-threatening, not just for the baby, but for the mother too. Even after birth, the pain continues and mothers need to rest. Yet here you are, acting like the king of the house? How dare you? Paul, now pale and cornered by his family's anger, stood there speechless. You're a disgrace. Paige is an amazing woman who gave you a beautiful baby, and you couldn't even make her happy? You're nothing but trash. Maybe a good beating would knock some sense into you. With behavior like yours, don't be surprised if you end up all alone. You've got that coming.
We can't even think of you as our son anymore. You're a shame to this family. But I was lonely. Ever since Paige got pregnant, she hasn't paid attention to me.
Even as he was being scolded, Paul refused to apologize and instead tried to justify himself. I'd had enough. I'm sorry, Paul, but I am done. I can't live with you anymore. Let's get a divorce.
Divorce? Who's getting divorced over a little marital spat? That's insane!
I can't do this anymore. I'm taking Lila and leaving today.
You can't be serious!
You need to learn to understand other people's feelings. Anyway, we're cutting ties with you two. From now on, you're on your own.
No, Paige! I'll apologize for everything, so please forgive me!
Paul cried and begged, but I ignored him. Until I left, Lisa and my mother-in-law stood guard to protect me from him. After the divorce, I thought about returning to my parents' house with Lila, but I decided to rent an apartment near my in-laws instead. Paige, Lila, you two look great today. Here, I made some French toast. Let's eat together. Lisa, thank you so much. I love your French toast. Don't let my looks fool you. I'm actually pretty good at cooking. Being able to enjoy sweets without anyone saying anything is such a blessing. All thanks to you, Lisa. Forget about that guy already. He's probably miserable now. He never had friends, even after the divorce. There's no one to talk to. Serves him right. Okay then, I won't hold back. Oh, yum, this is delicious. Thank you for watching. What kind of Paige will show up next time? Stay tuned.
Thank you for watching! What kind of crazy people will we get to see next? Stay tuned for more!